which I use to support my camera whilst I'm doing the recordings in here. It's got all sorts of random stuff, and just before pressing record on my phone I had to rummage through to see what's there. There's a teddy bear, there's I think an old poncho, and a pair of waterproof trousers. I believe these are the waterproof trousers that were slightly too long for me. So eBay, here we come. So yes, Wednesday, no, Tuesday. See, I'm just lost now in this mass of, I don't know what the heck is going on, and I don't know how I'm going to cope with my fringe. So yesterday I was talking about the stay-at-home Cal and my plans to make the fuss-free festival shawl, and I talked about the yarn I was going to use. So the yarn I chose was this one, which is Cockatoo by Easy Knits. And if you look at it, I thought it was striped, but actually if you look at it, the colours on there are, it's a really short repeat. Pretty, very pretty. Yeah, it's a very short repeat, so I suspect it's going to come out flecked and freckled, flecked, mottled. That's the word I was looking for, mottled, rather than striped. So that's a good thing. I think I've made a good choice of yarn for a shawl. However, I tried the Fuss Free Festival shawl this morning. It's got knit twos together and it's got slip stitches in it, and the needles I was using had quite a blunt point, and I was finding it very frustrating to get it through some of the stitches and knit some of the stitches. So I have put that to one side. I am not going to try and flog away at it if it's not making me happy, because I just want something nice and simple to knit. I don't want to have a big argument with my knitting. I don't know what I'm going to do about that, because I do have some sharper needles, but they're in a smaller needle size, which will be too small to knit the shawl with. I'd end up with kind of sock density material rather than drapey shawl density material. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that, but I still want to use that yarn, and I would really like to knit the Fuss Free Festival shawl simply because it's a nice garter stitch pattern. There are another couple of other shawls that I also would like to knit. One is Magrathea, which is by Strichmich, Martina Bain, and the other is Aardvarkish, which is by Winwick, I'm not sure how you pronounce the name of that town. But both of those have lace in them. And to be completely and utterly honest, I'm not sure if I'm in the mood for lace at the moment. And actually, even if I were in the mood for lace, I've got a half knit lace shawl from 2016, that if I was going to do lace, actually I should pick that up and get on with that one rather than start a new one. So not sure what's going on with the knitting projects at the moment. So yes, yesterday I was also talking about one of the patterns that James had found in the scanner, which was this one, Blackberry Delight by Julie Ferguson, which was from Let's Knit magazine. And I can't actually see a date. I think it was sometime in 2015. So that's that. And I found out yesterday it had been left in the scanner for goodness knows how long, but I didn't have either the yarn or the second half of the pattern, which told me how to do this white lacy bit. Also, so I have got lots and lots of patterns all over the place. This is where I keep the ones that I would like to knit next, or I've got the yarn for. What actually happens is I forget that I have this folder and then go and look in my other folders for patterns. So yeah, it's not actually that great a system, but I have a folder of patterns I want to knit, or I already have the yarn for. And in that I found this one, which is called Black Currant Swirl by Jan Henley, also from Let's Knit magazine. Again, I can't see a date on it, but it's also made with Amatola yarn, Louisa Harding Amatola yarn, which is the same as this one, Black Currant Swirl. No, Blackberry Delight Black Currant Swirl. which I have. I don't have it in the blackcurrant flavour colourway, I've got it in a purple colourway. So I actually do have a pattern for the yarn I have in my stash. So I think what I'm going to do is keep the pattern that I have in its entirety and recycle the half pattern I have. Both lovely patterns, but there's no point keeping a pattern if I've only got half of the instructions. My eyes are itching. I blame the fringe. Having said that though, hay fever season is soon going to be upon us. It's probably time I started taking antihistamines so that when all of the pollens really kick in, I have a build-up of antihistamines in my system. Because sometimes I can get hay fever really, really badly. That's that on the knitting front. And the hay fever front, I've also had a phone call this morning from the local volunteer team. So I've volunteered to help with the COVID-19 crisis, and I just had a phone call about half an hour ago from somebody in relation to that, going through questions and things that I'd answered and trying to hone down and refine and what it is I'm interested in doing. So that's good. Apparently there have been thousands and thousands of people who have responded, and the lady I spoke to who's in charge of sorting them all through is having to take a bit of time in sifting everything through and making sure that all of the opportunities and availabilities are well matched to the people and that people are happy with what they're doing, etc, etc. So it will take a bit of time, but that is something that is pending. And that's sort of it, really. I've rewritten my to-do list. I woke up today with my shoulders still hurting, my wrist still hurting. I don't know why, I was getting a bit tedious. I mean, it's not painful, it's just an ache, but it's an ache I'd prefer not to have. So I think rather than sitting and feeling sorry for myself, because my plan for today had been to sit and watch Mallory Towers on iPlayer, because I've heard it's quite good, and just knit. And that's not happening at the moment. So I think what I need is to write my to-do list, or to focus on my to-do list, get some things ticked off there, so I feel I feel that I have achieved something for that day. Because if I don't, that's usually what makes me feel rubbish at the end of the day, feeling that I've just sat around doing nothing. So that is my plan for the day. So today's Channel 5 movie is Killer-in-Law. There goes my theory. Melissa, a happily married woman with an 8-year-old daughter, invites her husband's mother to live with them. Why? Why would you do that? However, Melissa comes to realise that Grandma is unhinged and wants to kidnap Melissa's daughter to replace her own dead child. Told you. They have killer in the title. They always seem to have killer in the title. So I'm presuming this is the grandmother. The lady on the left has just picked up the daughter and dropped her off to Mum. Violence warning for this, but...
Oh, I'm going to be watching Emmy now.
Melissa said this?
Yes, she did.
I just talked to her about a half an hour ago and she didn't mention any of that to me.
Are you calling me a liar?
No, I don't even know you. I'm going to text Miss Faraday and ask her.
Yeah, you do that.
Genuinely, how can you be knocked out that badly by a door? That's the kind of thing that would maybe bruise your shoulder or stub your toe. Was not lying when it said it was a vibrant red. Look, but I like it. Yeah, just throw that on the floor there, I'll pick it up in a minute. I like the colour. Not really much more you can say to that. When I do my hair dyes, I ignore the advice of washing it and rinsing things out gently and slowly. I immediately get into the shower, rinse it off, and then wash my hair, which gets rid of the majority of the spare dye. so that I'm not left with hair washes for the next however many, 2-3 weeks or whatever, with that just ooze out little bits of dye. So the majority of the hair dye has been washed out, which is good. However, this afternoon it did rather make me look like I was bathing in some kind of red wine jus or gravy or something. It was really, really bizarre. And that's in addition to the obligatory murder scene in the bath that always happens when I'm rinsing out hair dye, that you just end up with this red sea everywhere and sort of on the tiles and in the bath, and yeah. But that's that. Went to bed, but I sort of meant to go and just sit in bed and, you know, just spend some quiet time with James, and I think I actually fell asleep for 2 or 3 hours. Had a light supper. Can't really say there's much more about that of interest. I tried knitting the Fuss Free Festival shawl, the pattern I was talking about earlier today, yesterday, whenever. I'm having problems with my needles. My needles are not sharp enough to get into the stitches when they need to. I did try earlier with a slightly bigger needle, which sort of worked, but kind of didn't. And James was doing an Amazon order. He's got a new microwave oven that's due to arrive next week, because our old one cocked it at the end of last year. And as he was doing that, he said to me, "Oh, is there anything you need from Amazon?" I was like, no. Thinking to myself, knitting needles are not an essential. No, that's fine. And I really regret that decision now. I really wish I'd said to him, well, actually, if you can get 3mm pair of chow goose, that would be quite nice. But knitting needles are not an essential, apart from the fact this time they might be. So I'll have to do that tomorrow and investigate what knitting needle options are available to me if I want to carry on knitting the Fuss Free Festival shawl. And also tomorrow is the Titchfield Thunderbolt, which is one of the Ealing comedies, but there is a tweet-along thing going along or happening to raise money for the Tallaghclyn Railway, which I'm pretty sure I went on when I was little. James almost certainly went on when he was little. So that is our afternoon plan for tomorrow, is to watch the Titchfield Thunderbolt. See you then.